Hello and welcome back to Jukebox Land in Control playthrough by Rocky Rabbit Commentaries. And in this part, we are going to finish by exhausting the timer on the expedition clock. We have 11 minutes and 20 seconds remaining before we are ejected from Jukebox Land.
So you don't actually finish this attempt then?
I don't know if finish is the correct word to describe realistic expectations of going through Jukebox Land. I've only ever made one attempt in the expedition quest by inserting a jukebox token, and there are variations on this particular landscape that are accessible depending on the number of jukebox tokens you insert at the onset. I'm sure that a logical conclusion to reaching the quote-unquote end of the expedition quest is some really cool swag. But you pick up some really cool swag in proportion to how deep into this place you get before you run out of time or die. I do not die, thankfully, during this playthrough, so I am limited only by how long it takes for me to clear out these enemy encounters and navigate this labyrinthian landscape.
You need to go find the healing node.
I like it how just by attempting mind control on these guys that it interrupts their health regen as though I'm inflicting damage, although no change in their health bar is taking place. These guys can go screw themselves with health regen because they can avoid my projectile attacks.
And smink.
Found it. Oh, thank God healing nodes themselves can't regenerate health. Not even from their friends.
And now you have to deal with another shielded bastard.
They are bastards. Oh yes. They've never met their parents. They're Rocky. Stony. That's the names of their parents respectively, Mommy and Daddy.
Rocky and Stony?
Yes.
Were they offshoots of the Balboa franchise?
Balboa. Well, more like limestone. Maybe even a form of Alabama marble. Or maybe from Vermont. In any case, they can go to hell.
But that would make them align with brimstone, not limestone. You know, I've never actually understood the combination between fire and brimstone. I get it's a decent Bible quote, but is there a specific reason why you would want to combine fire and brimstone?
Biblical scripture poetry is my answer to the question. They kind of how Dante Alighieri had to form very specific images using symbology, the numbers of things, what they were colored, how they were arranged on the table. So too, scripture also had to use poetry in order to make people remember that which was written.
It's just a bit weird to use both fire and brimstone, because I'm not entirely sure what the physical properties of brimstone are, but I assume it's actually very fire resistant, as it is, you know, a rather heavy earthen material.
Well, we are video game commentators, not geologists, so I will not pretend to be an expert on the difference between brimstone and non-brimstone rocks.
Well, I know that it's significantly different from shale.
Shale has the okay, so this is something I do know somewhat about, is that shale has a gas component. There's gas in it, and we wants it. We needs it. We'll stick a straw in it and suck it out like a milkshake.
I certainly hope not, because you'd end up with a lot of charcoal dust that way.
The duration of time I am losing to these poltergeist-type enemies might explain why I do not make it to the end, if there is an end to expedition, because these encounters really should not take as long as they are taking. Ideally, of course,
yeah, your big
you
issue is that you're not actually devoting yourself to taking down these shielded enemies when you start firing at them.
Precisely. Well, these guys came up last. you know, always save the best for last. It works not only for showmanship and having paid for tickets in order to see live performers, works for video games too.
So I think
I
we
didn't
just found
spend
an
a dime
augment for
on
the
this.
sniper rifle variant of our service weapon.
I don't know if there is a sniper rifle variant of the service weapon.
You sure? Because you just got something called a Pierce Zoom boost.
Ah, okay. So Pierce would be my current. I think it's my current variant of the service weapon.
No,
that means
you're still using the pistol variant of the service weapon.
So observe that just like in Resident Evil 4, when you aim down, when you hit the aim button to pick up your weapon and, you know, about to shoot somebody, well, I think you can fire from the hip as well. You have that option. Firing from the hip does not cause the game to zoom in, but aiming down does. So zoom would improve the magnification of that zoom in, so you can more easily score headshots.
Hey, you stole one of the poltergeists.
Yay.
Energy renewal.
Keep your friends close. Keep your poltergeist closer.
And then mind control all of their friends for your own cause.
Another thing that might cause me to lose some seconds, which multiplied over numerous encounters, would be the time it takes for me to mindjack these particular foes. It takes the same amount of time to mindjack just about anybody as long as they're not bosses, given that their health bar is low enough. Now that I think about it, however, I don't think you can use mindjack on the shielded enemies, the big burly guys who got just, you know, a little bit of everything. They got shield, they got melee, they have projectile throw, they have lots of health, and usually have like a visible shield health bar. Those guys, I don't think I ever mindjack. It would be awesome if I could.
And there.
That also is meant to deliberately drain your time. How inconvenient for a mission in which you must complete
Pascal,
it
just
in
bail.
time.
You don't need to fight these
I
anymore.
probably
You're done on this
should.
island.
Oh, but I want to get the things that they drop. They got things for me. I want them.
Are you going to use the things that they drop?
Maybe. I mean, you can. I mean, in theory, you can use anything that they drop as long as you don't, you know, suck at this game and then lose 10% of the points that they drop, which you would have to get back by killing them again, in which you would lose again because you suck at this game and are losing 10% of your points every time you die again because you suck at this game.
Shielded enemies.
Oh, level 7 baddies. Okay, alright, alright. Facing higher level enemies also will cause you to lose time because they are tougher.
But are they that much tougher, really?
Yeah, they are noticeably more sturdy than their level 6 counterparts.
I mean, you're still taking them down with 2 shots of launch, so.
Yeah, but I want to take them down in 1. Okay, so maybe the difference between 6 and 7 is not that bad, but 6 and 8, I'm sure if I plunge deep enough
6 and
into
8
this
is
realm
probably significantly more noticeable.
Yeah, probably using like Borderlands style reasoning that if your enemy is 2 levels higher than you, then you probably should back away.
You did die,
so I do. Oh, right, but because this is Expedition and not other thing, after the game loaded, you are locked in here until you run out of time. That was so that was my mistake for thinking that it just boots you out and causes you to have wasted your jukebox token except for the things you already had collected. Yeah, you could just keep going. The game does not really explain why Jessie can just come back from the dead.
No,
she's
burn
here.
His corrupted material. It looks
Yeah,
like it's
sure,
already
whatever.
partially on fire.
I have 95 seconds to do the thing and get the loot.
No, this one would have actually been pretty easy to do. You don't need to do the fighting. Just go around look for the Look for the junk to throw in the incinerator.
Well, let me tell you something about contingencies at this stage of the game. You do want to kill the enemies. You do want to ignore the main objective because I don't have time to complete the rest of the main objectives. These are the guys who have the things that I want. These are the sources of my gains.
But
See, if I had
if you
more
complete
time,
the objective, then you get interesting crafting materials.
no, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Because you have to take it to the end. All it does, all that completing the objectives does, is just lower the bridge. But if you don't have time to cross it,
No,
then there's no point.
As we saw when you completed the objective just a moment ago, you
Oh,
were
shit,
awarded
it's
crafting
the
materials for it.
Invisible Angel. It's the Dark Souls 3 Priscilla boss. Very sneaky.
Nah, it's okay. You only got 12 seconds left, so.
Don't die. Ow. That hurt. Thank God I have superlative health.
And so ends our first attempt at the expedition. And it doesn't kick you out immediately. It keeps you in here for about 5 seconds while it attempts to kick you out. Still, this low-quality gramophone is terrible.
It's supposed to sound terrible.
I know it's supposed to sound terrible. That doesn't stop it from sounding terrible, though.
Terrible is terrible. Punishment, perhaps?
I don't think so. I think it's supposed to sound this terrible. It's like a 50s gramophone, so.
Supposed to make you feel stupid. Like, you could have avoided the stupid, shitty sounding audio effects, but you couldn't. Maybe if you put in another jukebox to try again, maybe you'd do a little better. You learn some things.
We did not have good luck out there. Oh well.
Well, that was fun. It was a neat little diversion, because I sure do enjoy a game mode that doesn't feel quite as punishing when I die, because that is, honestly, that besides the story missions...
Absolute and Prime.
The jukebox has the distinction of being one of the few types of quests in the game that you can attempt at repeatedly and die without being severely punished. The only thing that you lose is time. But again, if you don't complete it in time, you lose.
Alright, so are we going to actually use the energy recovery speed mod that we just got?
Looking like it. I know in the next part we're going to be reunited with our long-lost brother Dylan. Yeah, 2% benefit. Hell yes.
Be safe, everybody.